The 1945 Lincoln wheat penny is a small copper coin that carries with it the memory of an important moment in American history. To understand this coin, we need to go back to the mid-1940s, a time when the world was changing rapidly. The year 1945 marked the end of World War II, global conflict that had consumed nations for years. In the United States, the mint had already played a vital role in supporting the war effort. During the early part of the decade, the mint reduced the use of copper and cents, striking the famous 1943 steel pennies because copper was so important for producing ammunition and military supplies. By 1944, however, copper returned to cent production, but much of it came from recycled shell casings that were collected and melted down after being used in the war. This means that when you look at a 1945 wheat penny, even if it is worn from circulation, you are holding a coin that likely carries within it recycled materials that once served a wartime purpose. The design of the 1945 penny was not new at that time. The obverse, or front of the coin, shows the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, which had first been introduced in 1909 to honor the centennial of Lincoln's birth. Above Lincoln's head are the words, "In God We Trust." To the left of his profile is the word liberty, and to the right of him is the date, 1945. If the coin was made in Denver or San Francisco, you will also see a small mint mark below the date, either a D or an S. On the reverse side, the coin carries the famous wheat design created by Victor David Brenner. Two wheat stalks curve along the sides of the coin, framing the words 1 cent and United States of America. Above this inscription is the motto, pluribus unum, which means, out of many, one. Even when a 1945 wheat penny is worn and circulated, the central features of Lincoln's profile and the wheat ears usually remain visible, although the finer details such as the lines of Lincoln's coat or the sharp edges of the lettering may be smoothed down. In terms of how many were made, the 1945 wheat penny was produced in extremely large numbers. More than 1 billion coins came out of the Philadelphia Mint, which can be identified by the lack of a mint mark. Around 266 million were struck in Denver, marked with a small d under the date, and more than 180 million were struck in San Francisco, marked with an S. With such a high mintage, it is clear that the 1945 penny is not considered rare, and this is one reason why in worn condition, its value is quite modest. So, what is a 1945 wheat penny in worn condition actually worth today? Because so many were made, and so many still survive, most circulated examples are worth just a few cents more than their face value. On average, collectors will pay around 3 to 10 cents for a worn 1945 penny. The value increases as the condition improves, so uncirculated examples with original mint luster can bring in a few dollars, and coins in extremely high grades certified by grading services can fetch much more. But for the worn condition coin that many people may find in their change jar or inherited collection, the value is low in terms of money, but high in terms of history. There are, however, exceptions that can make certain 1945 pennies more desirable. Errors and varieties are always interesting to collectors. Some examples of the 1945 penny show doubled dies, where the lettering or the numbers appeared doubled because of a mistake in the die making process. There are also coins with off-center strikes, where the design was not properly aligned on the planchet, and these can be quite collectible. Repunched mint marks are another variety to look out for, especially on the Denver and San Francisco coins, where the mint mark was struck more than once in slightly different positions. These errors can make the value rise significantly, even if the coin is otherwise worn. What makes the 1945 wheat penny truly special is not its rarity or its monetary value, but rather the story it tells. It was struck at the very end of a war that changed the world. It was made from metal that may have once been part of a shell casing used overseas. It carries the image of Abraham Lincoln, a president remembered for guiding the nation through the Civil War and for his commitment to unity and freedom. For collectors, holding a 1945 penny is like holding a piece of that history in the palm of your hand. Even in worn condition, The 1945 wheat penny is a wonderful addition to any collection. It is affordable for beginners, easy to find, and full of meaning. For many collectors, their very first wheat pennies are coins like the 1945, because they are common enough to be picked up at coin shops, coin shows, or even from pocket change in past decades. Over time, these coins help spark an interest in the wider world of numismatics, leading collectors to seek out rarer dates, higher grades, and more unique varieties. In the end, the 1945 wheat penny may not make you rich, but it offers something more valuable than money. It offers a tangible connection to a defining moment in history. When you see the worn details, you are reminded that this coin passed through countless hands, was used in stores during the post-war years, may have bought a piece of candy or a newspaper announcing victory, and survived all those years to rest in your collection today. It is a survivor from 1945, a year that marked both an ending and a beginning for the United States and the world. That is why, even in worn condition, this small copper coin holds such a big story.